Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about all of the books on my December TBR. So I typically put 6 books on my December TBR, but I have a lot of books on my physical TBR that I want to get through. And when I don't have school, I read a lot more. And recently I've been reading a lot more. Like I've read 6 books so far, and we're only in the 3rd week of November. So I think I'm going to do 8 books for December. So these are the 8 books that I'm going to be reading in December. So the first one I want to talk about is ACOTAR by Sarah J. Maas. Everybody knows what this book is, but for those of you that might not know, this is about a girl who kills a wolf in the woods. And then she is taken to a magical fairy world? I think it's fairy. And that's pretty much all I know. I know that the first love interest is like the Adam of Shatter Me. So yeah, we'll see if I like him or if it's Shatter Me all over again and I like the second love interest way better. So that's the first book on my December TBR. The next book on my December TBR, I feel like we have to talk about this one next. But it is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. Now, everybody says that you're supposed to read the ACOTAR series first, and then read Throne of Glass, and then read Crescent City. But I was not aware of that when I made this TBR. And I really wanted to get through Throne of Glass and ACOTAR so I could move on to other series that I want to read, because these two are pretty lengthy, especially Throne of Glass. If you guys have seen how long Kingdom of Ash is, which is the last book in the Throne of Glass series, then, you know, that's gonna take me an eternity, because you know, if you've seen the book, I don't think it would fit in my hand. I think it would be too big, because it's an insane book. And I don't know how you write that many words and not say, hey, maybe I should split this up into 2 books. But yeah, so I'm gonna read ACOTAR and Throne of Glass at the same time. We'll see if it gets confusing. I don't really know. I don't know. All I know is that I made the mistake of thinking I could read 2 Sarah J. Maas worlds at the same time, and apparently I shouldn't do that. Somehow they're connected or something like that. I don't even know. But I'm gonna read them at the same time because I don't really care. And I'm starting with The Assassin's Blade because that's what Sarah Caroli did, and she said that she thinks that's the best way to read the Throne of Glass series, instead of reading book 1 and 2 and then reading The Assassin's Blade as book 3, and then, right? I think some people read this as book 3, and it's either, yeah, some people read this as book 3. But I mean, I also like going in chronological order, so that's another reason for reading The Assassin's Blade first. It's like 5 or 6 little novellas. Things that take place before Throne of Glass. So yeah, I don't know. I'm getting into the Sarah J. Maas world, and I could not be more scared of it, because a lot of people like these, like a lot of people like anything written by Sarah J. Maas, so I don't know. I'm kind of scared that I'm not gonna like it, so. Then I have Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. This is a YA fantasy. I don't know. I heard it has really good enemies to lovers, but I heard that before Powerless came out. Well, Powerless came out in January, so I probably heard it before Powerless had as much hype as it does now, like April or May. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see if it compares to Powerless. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's another. My TBR is mainly fantasy, and then like the 2 books that I added are literary fiction and fantasy, I think. So then I have The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is another YA fantasy with romantasy. This has good enemies to lovers too. As you can see, I'm reading a lot of enemies to lovers. I need something to be like Powerless, but I don't know if anything is ever going to be like Powerless because Powerless was amazing. I literally read it this month. It's still November, but like I can't stop thinking about Powerless, and I need it to be July now. And I figured out what I'm gonna do. Just completely ignoring The Cruel Prince right now. I'm gonna just buy the UK version so that I can continue with the UK versions. And then if I want the US editions, then I'll buy the US editions. But I think the covers are the same. Or they're at least similar. I don't really know. Back to The Cruel Prince. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody loves this series. The majority of people love this series. It gets about pretty much the same hype as ACOTAR and Throne of Glass, I think. So, yeah. And Leigh Bardugo said it's an amazing book. So, I'm going to read it because Leigh Bardugo literally has a thing on the front cover. So, yeah, that's my reasoning for that. Then we have Tequila Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. I heard Rachel Catherine talk about this book, and she really liked it, so we're going to try it. I think it's in a series, but you can read it as a standalone. Like, you don't have to read the other books in the series. I don't even think the second one is out yet. As far as I know, the second one isn't out yet. Pretty sure this is Enemies to Lovers too. And it's YA fantasy. See, there's a theme going on here. And if you can tell, it's YA fantasy or just fantasy in general. Pretty much just romantasy is what we're doing this month. So yeah, I don't really have much to say about this book. I think it's about like a prince and a siren or a mermaid. It's a little mermaid retelling, but I think instead of a mermaid, it's a siren. I think that's what it is. I don't know. It's Enemies to Lovers, I believe. Listen, it just goes along with the theme of the month, okay? Then going a little bit out of theme, I also want to read Five Survive by Holly Jackson. This is the last Holly Jackson book I have to read until the disappearance of... I don't remember what it's called. Hold on. It's the disappearance of Rachel Price. So Five Survive will be the last Holly Jackson book that I have to read before the disappearance of Rachel Price, which comes out in April, I think. I need to add that to my anticipated reads for 2024 list. Okay. We're getting off topic. But yeah. I don't know. Listen, there was a theme, and then I was like, I want to read Five Survive, so I put it on the TBR. I don't have an explanation. It's a thriller. It's about 6 kids in a trailer, and they're going somewhere for spring break, and then they get stuck somewhere, and then there's a sniper outside of their RV trying to kill one of them, because one of them has a secret, and I don't even know. Apparently, I don't know, there's a sniper, and there's 6 children, and only 5 survive. So there you go. Next on my December TBR is The Difference by C. Delangelo. This is the book by the author if you read or if you watched my bookstore vlog that I met like outside one of the little stores that I was walking past, and she signed the book, and I bought it like from her. So yeah, she signed the book. Like, I actually can't believe it. And my name, like, she put my name, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. So yeah, it sounds very interesting, and I wanted to read it soon. So I was like, let's add it to the December TBR, because I've been thinking about adding things to my December TBR. So I was like, let's add this one. So this is literary fiction. It's about this woman, Rachel Granza. She wants to figure out her, like, family history because her grandfather doesn't really talk about like his immigration process and like where he came from and stuff like that. So she goes on a journey to figure out that whole story about her grandfather's immigration and all of that fun stuff. So I think it's gonna be a really good read. And then she has another book. So we're gonna read this one, and if I like it, I think I'm gonna get the other one, her other book. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll put it on the screen. So yeah, you guys should go check her out. I believe she's an independent author. And so yeah, you gotta go check out her books, because I think this is gonna be really good. So, okay, and then the final book that I literally just picked that I'm gonna put on my December TBR is Cress by Marissa Meyer. This was on my October TBR and I never read it. And it's probably the thickest book in this series. So I want to read this. I saw an edit of Cress, and then the guy main character, I can't remember what his name is. Captain, what? No, yes, it is Captain Thorn. Okay, it's Cress and Captain Thorn. So yeah, it's a Rapunzel retelling. All of these are like sci-fi Disney retellings. I've read Cinder and I've read Scarlet, obviously, because these aren't interconnected standalones. You have to read them in order. I read Cinder when I was in like the 5th grade. I'm not really sure that a 5th grader should have been reading that because it's YA and I was 10. But I don't know. I read it and that was my introduction to sci-fi fantasy type deal things. And it was interesting, to say the least. But yeah, we are finally continuing this series. I've been reading this series for so incredibly long, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm kind of in the mood to read it right now, but there's like 4 more days left in November. So we're gonna wait and read it in December, I think. So yeah, I found my motivation to finally read Cress. Everybody get excited, because that's 2 really thick books on my December TBR. So, these are all the books that I'm reading. Whoa, please don't fall. These are all the books that I want to read in December. We'll see how many of them I read. I added 2 books to the regular 6 that I do. This is only 7 of them. I need to get 5 Survive. That's the last one I need to get. And then I will have the entirety of my December TBR. So, yeah. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload, which is on Mondays. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!